What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be talking about VEVE releasing their first ever physical and digital NFT collectible. But before we do this, if you enjoy this video then please consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new around here. So VEVE recently put a retweet out saying they're going to be doing a collaboration with Ron English. I actually think this is a really exciting collaboration. We're going to be taking a look today at the actual piece itself, because it looks like they've released in this article the piece that are going to be released. How many's minted? We're looking at a 100 minted collection, which is going to be extremely valuable. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be looking at some of the other NFT collectibles that Ron English has released, which can give us an indication of price, because some of these have gone for crazy money. And then we're going to go on the wiki article, because he's actually had some associations with Simpsons as well, and some other really cool things. So be sure to stick around throughout this video. So yeah, it looks like he's going to be releasing these sort of rabbit style NFT sort of pop art style figures. Now, we can see here that he said that they're going to have a sub 100 or 100, sorry, digital and physical sculptures. Now, this is going to be incredibly difficult to get hold of. This is, in my opinion, very, very catered towards the collector. We've seen in other launches, like we spoke about Cryptkins in the past, where I think it was a more mass appeal launch where they were trying to go out to a larger audience. So there was actual collectibles, a lot of them for people to get hold of. But this is definitely catered towards lower mint. So this is, in my opinion, a collector's piece. And you can see this is a really interesting sort of pop culture. He calls it the rabbit grin. And I think what we're also highlighting here is that I actually think the creator and the artist himself has decided how many mints he wants to have within this launch, which I think is quite important to keep in mind when we look at potentially other artists getting brought in. We could look at potentially the total minted that they've had, or the total supply they normally create for their current physical collectibles, and get an idea about potentially what we might have in minted, because we can see here that in previous work, which we'll touch on a little bit later, he is very much into that sort of one-off pieces. So and another thing I just want to touch upon in this article, which I think was really important, is the reason why he's associated with VEVE, the Carbon Neutral NFT Platform. We've touched upon this in previous videos, and I think we'll continue to see this. You know, artists, there are a lot of people out there across the world that don't like cryptocurrency and blockchain simply because of the environmental effect it has on the planet. You know, this is a problem of today, and people have a very active stance within this, me included. You know, I personally love VEVE because of their carbon neutral standpoint and obviously quality of product, but I do love that aspect of what they're trying to achieve, or what they are achieving. And you're seeing artists attach themselves to this specific point, that they want to be a part of a platform that's carbon neutral. And I think we'll see bigger brands associate this themselves to this. This is a very cool headline to have. You know, seeing VEVE being associated as a carbon neutral NFT platform, and I think we'll see a lot of media articles continue to push this point, you know, as it becomes a sort of trending part of the sort of revolution within cryptocurrency. But I think it'll be the go-to standard for companies that really stand the test of time within this space, because it's important. You know, environmental issues are a real problem. So I thought that was a really cool point to make as well. And if we continue to scroll down, we can see, I think we may actually be having a look here at potentially what the physical collectible is going to look like. So I think we're seeing pretty similar correlations here to the Dragon Girl launch, you know, with the metallic feel within the rare and the ultra rare, which is very interesting. We saw how well they did. So I think we can definitely assume that this is going to be a popular launch. Personally, it's the 100 editions. This is going to be so hard to get hold of. I wonder whether they're going to launch this in a different way. I don't know whether they're going to do this in the traditional drop they have in the VEVE platform, unless only because of how much strain that could potentially have on their servers. I mean, can you imagine how hard this is going to get? I don't know how they're going to release this, but I do think maybe we might see a different style of launch coming from this. And then we've got the gold version as well. I would say out of the two, I'm definitely edging more towards the silver over the gold. But hey, either way, I think it's a very cool launch, very interesting to see. And like we can say here, look, we can see once again the 100% carbon neutral NFTs being highlighted here. Very interesting to see these artists and brands associating themselves with this aspect of VEVE. And like I say, I think we'll continue to see this. Now, another point I want to touch upon here is that he has already released NFTs. So we can see that he's done a collection here with Nifty Gateway, and they went for some crazy money. Like once again, highlighting the sort of how in demand this artist actually is. Before I'd never actually heard of him, but I presume obviously in pop culture he holds his stance. And we can see we've got one here. This was a one-of-one Mona Lisa. We'll go have a look at this quickly. This actually sold for $26,000. This one-of-one piece. So his pieces are significant. They do gain a lot of traction. I actually think it's a really cool piece. I love how it's like animated, and it is a very interesting style. But I actually think my favourite one here was the Uncle Scam or on Torch, because I like the way it's rotating. I think the art piece is really cool. But you can see this time we got a 5 remaining here, $5,000. So we can see a lot of the pieces that he's released have very limited runs. Just sort of highlighting what, once again, I think the artist himself has had quite a significant say, in my opinion, on the total minted we're going to be seeing within the VEVE platform. So just something to consider maybe, and something to think about when we see more artists get introduced into space. But you can see these are very interesting style NFTs. I thought this one was pretty cool as well, the American Depressed. It's unique. This whole thing is super unique. He's a very unique artist. I think it's going to be very, like when we move forward and see more pieces released from, who knows, we may see some of these more funky style NFTs being released. So I just wanted to touch upon that. And then finally, I just wanted to jump into this wiki article that I've seen, and we can see some of his work. He's actually done the album cover here for Chris Brown's album for Fame. I think that's really interesting to point out. He obviously has a very significant stance in the artist world. So making this, in my opinion, a very interesting style collaboration. We may see more external people coming into this platform to try and get involved with this launch because of not just the limited nature, but the fact that he's done other pieces for quite significant artists, and he's been featured in The Simpsons here. We can see he was a guest starring within one of the Simpsons episode, the exit through the Quitty Mart. I can't even say that word. Quickie Mart, I think it is. But the point is, he's had significant roles or significant places within outside media, and that's an important point for us to consider when we look at potentially how in demand this launch will be. But like I say, this is going to be hard to get. I don't know how they're going to release it, but it's not going to be easy. I'm going to go for it, obviously. I don't think this will be cheap. I think we're going to see a more expensive price point here, but obviously that's because it's a collaboration with a physical piece and a digital piece. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to see him release his work into the VEVE platform. I hope you are. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts and feelings are behind his release, and maybe share some things with me about potentially what you think will happen. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.